Hey everyone, Hitesh here from ET's personal tech team. I have here the Realme 5 and the Realme 5 Pro, two latest phones from Realme, both with quad camera setups. Now the Realme 5 is interesting to me because the starting price of this is sub 10,000. That's right, 9999 for the 332GB variant. And the Realme 5 Pro is interesting because it has the 48 megapixel camera and a Snapdragon 712 processor. So both of them very different in terms of the specifications that they provide, but again both quite interesting in their own price brackets. So we'll do an unboxing for both of these. I'll show you what you get, what the device looks like, and we'll do a quick first impressions of both. So let's start with the Realme 5. So here's what you get in the box, some basic documentation. You get a soft case. It's slightly smoked, slightly grayish in color that you can see. You have the phone itself clearly outlining that it has a triple slot, so 2 SIMs plus the memory card. You have a micro USB cable, you have the SIM eject tool and a standard 10-watt charger. So the interesting thing about the Realme 5 is that they're bringing back the diamond pattern design, and I'm sure you can see that in the reflection right now. There are two colors available in this. This is the crystal purple. There's also a crystal blue, which is a little bit lighter in shade. The purple is more subdued, almost looks black if it's very dark, but with a little bit of light you can tell that the purple hue is clearly visible. Here's the quad camera setup at the back, and you can tell this one is the primary. It says f1.8. There's also an LED flash and the fingerprint scanner here. Right side you have the power button, left side you have a volume and the SIM tray, again triple card slot like I mentioned. You have nothing on the top. At the bottom 3.5mm micro USB slot, loudspeaker, microphone. So that's about it. Let me power this on and we can talk a little bit more about it. In the meantime, I'll also just say that this phone has a 5000 milliampere hour battery. So that's a very large battery by any standards, and this should give you very good battery backup. So if you're interested in that, the phone doesn't feel too bulky in the hand, as you can see. Maybe slightly more than usual, but it's not unwieldy or very heavy to hold either. So 5000 milliamp hour battery, one of the highlights of this device. Again, sub 10,000 starting price. Fresh from setup now, and you can tell the bezel sizes. The bezels on the top and the sides are roughly the same, and it has what Realme calls the mini drop notch. It's actually a water drop shaped notch. They say it is smaller than usual. Honestly, I couldn't tell the difference. There's also a tiny earpiece on the top just above the front camera, and the lower chin about average, not very thick, but it's not thin either. But at the starting price of 10,000 rupees, one really cannot complain. The display is a 6.5 inch. It's an HD plus display, so fairly large display. In terms of the camera, the front camera is 13 megapixels. And the quad camera setup at the back is 12 megapixel f1.8, 8 megapixel wide angle with 119-degree field of view. There's also 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. So let's talk about variants and prices. I already told you the two colors, the crystal purple, crystal blue. 9,999 for the 332 variant. It goes up by 1,000 rupees, so 11,000. That's 10,999 for the 464 variant and 11,999 for the 128GB version. Keep in mind that you can always expand the memory because it has that dedicated memory card slot. So highlights of this phone really are the 5 cameras. There's 4 on the back, 1 in the front, the 5000 milliamp hour battery. So those are the things that you, if you are interested in, this is the phone you should be looking at. In terms of the processor in this is a Snapdragon 665. I also should mention that this phone can shoot 4K video at 30 frames per second. One of the very few phones under 10,000 that can actually do that. And in case you were wondering, yes, the back is plastic, although the front you do get Gorilla Glass 3. So that's a quick look at the Realme 5. We'll now move on to the Realme 5 Pro. So the 5 Pro has a few key upgrades compared to the Realme 5. It has a slightly smaller screen, 6.3 versus 6.5, but it is a full HD plus display, and it has the popular 48 megapixel. This is the Sony IMX 586 sensor. While the other cameras, the wide angle, macro, remain the same. Even the front camera has been upgraded. This is a 16 megapixel IMX 471, which is the same camera that you do get in the Realme X. So a big upgrade in the camera department. Processor is Snapdragon 712, so another upgrade there. Although the battery size in the 5 Pro takes a beating. It's a 4035 milliampere hour compared to 5000 in the Realme 5. So let's take a quick look. So here's what you get in the box. You get the basic documentation, you get a soft TPU case, again slightly smoked. You get the device itself. This is interesting. You get a VOOC 3.0 charger in the box. This is a 20 watt BIS certified charger, so that's a great addition. This phone also has USB Type-C, so you get a Type-C cable and the SIM eject tool. So the 5 Pro also has the diamond pattern back. Comes in two interesting colors, a sparkling blue and a crystal green. Now this is a crystal green, and actually it's looking completely different. It's looking more bluish on camera, and I've tried to adjust the lighting, but in real life it's more like an emerald green color, quite unusual and actually quite nice. I like it. It's really not showing up in the camera. I'll try to put up a couple of images of it on the screen for you so that you can better tell the color. But anyhow, the diamond pattern is underneath the back. It's a plastic back again, but you do get Gorilla Glass 3 in front. Let me power this on. We can talk a little bit more about it in the meantime. 6.3 inch FHD plus IPS, so that's a big upgrade there. In terms of the back camera, again a very similar quad camera layout, but you do get a 48 megapixel f1.8. that's the primary. It's a Sony IMX 586 sensor, very popular right now. You get the 8 megapixel, it's a ultra wide 119 degree field of view. It's the same as the Realme 5. 2 megapixel macro lens and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Front camera is a 16 megapixel IMX 471. Already mentioned that. You can already tell the bezel size here, so feels just about the same as the Realme 5. We'll compare both of those side by side in just a minute, but let me just quickly set this up and I'll come back. I have the Realme 5 on the left, the 5 Pro on the right. There is a very slight difference in size, although outwardly the appearance is very similar. This one is a little thinner and lighter. It has a smaller battery, feels slightly better to hold because of that. This one would be the one to go for if you really want the battery life and don't want to compromise on that, and you're okay with a slightly larger, bulkier, heavier device. So in this case it's a little sleeker, has a better hand feel, and if you can tell the difference in the screen resolution, that also is obviously significantly better in this. Not sure if you can tell on the screen, but this 5 Pro also has slimmer bezels, so overall a more premium device. This particular device, the 5 Pro, goes on sale on the 4th of September, while at the time of making this video, the 5 has already gone on sale on the 27th of August. So quickly run through the specs again. 6.3 inch FHD IPS on the Pro. The 5 gets a 6.5 inch HD plus. Snapdragon 712 on this. The Realme 5 gets Snapdragon 665. 4035 milliampere hour, 5000. This one does get the VOOC 3.0 charging as well. Now in terms of the variants, the storage variants on offer on the Realme 5 Pro, the base variant is a 464 GB for 13,999. So 14,000 a starting price for this, whereas it's 10,000 for this. There's also a 664 for 14,999, and there's an 8,128, which is the range topping, for 16,999, and that is obviously going into the full screen category as well. There are phones there from Huawei and from Realme themselves with the full screen pop-up camera design, so that is something to consider. UFS 2.1 is also included in this, apart from the VOOC 3.0 charging that I mentioned. Both of them have a triple slot, both of them have Gorilla Glass 3 in front and plastic backs. This particular one also weighs about 184 grams, so not very lightweight, but you don't really feel the heft in your hand. In terms of the operating system, ColorOS on both Android 9 is the software version. Both of them do get very similar apps that are preloaded on the device. This is without selecting any of the add-ons during the setup process. So these by default you do get in any case all of these apps. There's also a couple of sponsored folders, hot apps, hot games. Now these additional apps, many of them you can remove if you want to save space. In terms of the fingerprint unlock, I found them both to be really fast. So let me show that to you again. Lock. I place the finger and it is unlocked. Again, really fast fingerprint and face unlock on both. Both of them have really good performance as well for their respective classes. Snapdragon 665 and 712 both are enough for gaming as well. Even the high-end games like PUBG and Asphalt will work just fine on these processors. Only thing, quite a bit of wobble on both, a little bit more pronounced on the Realme 5 because of the large quad camera bump, but really good prices overall. Now that's been a quick first impressions on both the Realme 5 and the 5 Pro. If you have any questions on these, do reach out in the comment section. You can also get in touch with me on Twitter. My DMs are always open. My Twitter handle should also be mentioned up on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.